Welcome to the Network Build Grow podcast, the show where business owners, entrepreneurs, and professionals share their stories, lessons learned, and powerful strategies for building relationships and growing their circle of influence. With Melissa Taylor, your host, each week we'll bring you actionable insights to help you build a better network and a better business. Let's dive in.
Hello, everybody. We are here with Stephen Edwards. My friend, how are you today?
I'm doing fantastic, Melissa. Thank you for letting me be part of this.
Absolutely. So let's just kind of jump right in. I mean, I've known you for several years, and you've always been involved in the tech space. And what I mean by that is you've always done something with AI, even before AI was like mainstream, and you've always been doing things like that. You now have your own kind of, I don't want to say AI agency, but you help people implement AI into their business. Is that really the focus of what you do?
I do. I help people by bringing AI into the picture to help make their entire process run better. But I look at it mostly from a system perspective and not from a tool perspective. I'm trying to help them build a complete system, which AI is working with me is going to be a vital component of it, but it's not going to be the only part of building out their system.
Yeah. So when you say system rather than tool, I mean, there's a lot of us that use AI tools, ChatGPT, Notebook LM, Notion has, and a lot of the tools we use have AI incorporated into them now. Those are tools. So talk to me about when you say systems, how is that kind of the next step for people?
So that is looking at it, and going back from my old internal audit days many, many years ago, that's looking at it from top to bottom in, right? Looking at what are your objectives along the way. If you think about it as a flow from top to bottom, your objectives being at the top, there's several pieces below that, your threats, opportunities, all those things. At the bottom end, it's trying to figure out, is your business optimized or is it not? Now, we use AI as a tool to help figure those things out. In those cases, we're using AI as a thinking tool, but as we figure out think of it, the top being your best intentions and a lot of leaks along the way before what you actually get as results. So we use AI as a thinking tool, and then AI may suggest itself as the solution to some of those leaks.
Yeah. And I know that there's different systems, like it could be your sales process, your sales flow. It could be content generation and distribution. It could be back office things. There's lots of creating a website, creating sales pages, event pages. So I know there's a lot of opportunity with lots of systems. Do you work on all of them?
I do work on all of them. And again, I'm going to go back to my audit days because that's what I did as internal auditor. I was a generalist in nature, that I was smart enough to go into the areas and know the right questions to ask. But the person across the table for me, they're the ones that are actually the expert answering those questions. So all I've done now is really added a layer of AI on top of what I was doing 20 years ago. So if I were working with you, it'd be you and me and my AI in a room going through. I'm kind of the facilitator. AI is one of a subject matter expert, bring an outside viewpoint in, but you are the main subject matter expert. You're the one who knows your business best. So that's kind of how I work.
Yeah, it reminds me of the quote by E.E. Cummings that says, I'm going to probably get this a little bit wrong, but it says, beautiful answers come to those who ask beautiful questions.
That's right.
It sounds like you are the beautiful question asker.
Yeah. Again, it's part of my skills I learned a long time back.
That's great. Okay, so now a lot of people are afraid of AI. So tell me about this barrier, this fear barrier that you help people get past.
Well, I think they see it as AI as being more robotic in nature. I don't see it that way. I see AI as handling the logistics behind the scene so that we spend our time, it frees up our logistic time so that we now have more time to be more human. We're not being less human now. We now have more time to be more human, as it turns out.
Oh, that's a great way to put it. That's a great way to put it. So if somebody comes to you and they're like, oh, Steve, I need to integrate AI into my business. I need to save some time. I can't afford to hire somebody, but I know AI can really help me. What is that first step that you take with most business owners?
Sure. And as you know, Melissa, I'm heavily involved in the book, The One Thing. So we will break it down and try to figure out what their one thing is. We're trying to figure out the thing that would be most impactful in their business and use that as the starting point, right? And
Mm-hmm.
we're going into AI very systematically. We're looking at it as what is the problem that you need to solve, or what is the outcome that you're trying to reach, and that's our starting point. So
Mm-hmm.
we're not going at it haphazardly. We're basically fine tuning as this is our best starting point. We're going to start there and then hopefully be successful and expand from there.
And you really kind of, for lack of a better word, take people by the hand. Like you just don't throw things at them and be like, here you go, good luck. You actually walk them through it step by step.
Yeah, I pride myself in that because I'm a teacher. I'm a trainer at heart.
Mm-hmm.
My favorite delivery is workshops, and even with that, in that, my favorite style is more kind of over the shoulder kind of thinking. Is that let's do this together.
Yeah.
Watch over me. We're going to do it together, and I'm here to guide you. And when you think that you have come to the point that we can take the training wheels off, we'll take the
Mm-hmm.
training wheels off. But
Mm-hmm.
I'm here to hold your hand until you feel comfortable with doing it on your own.
Yeah. And I have experienced that firsthand, and you do a great job of that.
Well, thank
Making
you.
sure people
Appreciate that.
understand why we're doing it, not just telling me, okay, now click here, click here, click here. You're telling people why they're clicking there so they can actually learn the skill.
And one thing with working with me, people have to be patient, a little bit patient in working with me
Mm-hmm.
because I do this very systematically,
Mm-hmm.
and I tell them you're going to have to trust the process,
Mm-hmm.
trust the process entirely. One of my all-time favorite movies, The Karate Kid. I think of myself sometimes as being a Mr. Miyagi in that scenario.
Yeah.
He was telling Danielson some, wax on, wax off, and paint
Mm-hmm.
fist, that kind
Paint
of
the
thing.
fence.
Yeah, he did. Daniel had no idea
Mm-hmm.
why he was doing that, but that was part of the process. So with working with me, you got to learn to trust the process.
That is a great analogy because I think a lot of us, at least in our age bracket, have seen that movie and know what you're
Mhm.
talking about. So that's great. Now, I know that you started your own business. How many years ago did you go out on your own?
Well, I spent 20 years as an internal auditor in a CPA. I spent
Mm-hmm.
10 years as a real estate agent and later into that as a real estate coach. So I've been focused. I fell in love with coaching when I was doing coaching for real estate agents. And
Mm-hmm.
then uh, late November 2022, the
Mm-hmm.
world changed for me. And that's when ChatGPT came to town. And that's when I fell in love with it. I got fully engaged with it. I said, I'm going to keep my love for training and coaching, but everything I do from this point forward is going to have an AI emphasis to it.
Yeah. So you really embraced it right when it first started to kind of go what I call mainstream. I mean, it's been around for decades. People don't realize that, but
Mhm.
it went kind of mainstream. And that's
Mhm.
when you really started doing all this stuff.
It is. It is.
Yeah. That's great.
Let me introduce you to the Speaker League, where great leaders are made. It's a community built around world-class speakers, real training, and the kind of opportunities that put you in front of a room and dare you to own it. Everything you need to go from good to unforgettable. Train, speak, win. The stage is yours. Your voice, your moment, your stage. Join now at thespeakerleague.com.
Okay, so since that time, and even when you were in real estate, how has networking played a crucial role in building your business?
Well, for me, it's part of my process. It's part of my system. So again, even with
Mm-hmm.
networking, I'm coming at it very systematically. Um, and that's where I differ from most people. A lot of people see networking as that is the system, the system itself. But networking, when you go to a networking event, shake somebody's hand, that's just the start of the system.
Hmm.
That's just the start of the process. The magic happens when you leave that uh, opportunity there and let your system take over as to how are you going to follow up, how are you going to have a touch, and trying to strategically figure out who are the people that I can help the most. So that for me is part of
Hmm.
my systemic approach as well.
Hmm. No, I love the systemic approach on that. So when you get involved in a group, let's just specifically talk about groups because I know you're heavily involved with Network Build Grow.
Mm-hmm.
You've been on my leadership team. You've been on AI panels that we've done recently. I also know that you either were or are still kind of heavily involved in another group. I think it's called Blue. I know that you've also been involved in some other groups. How important is it to you kind of to go deep, so to speak, instead of just flitting around to every group in town?
Yeah, and that's a great question, Melissa. I am not a natural networker. I live on consistent persistence. That's how I've learned to network. And so, because if I'm grading myself, I wouldn't grade myself very good at it. But when I came from the corporate world, and then I started trying to build my real estate practice, it was a completely different world, and I had to make myself known as quickly as possible. So I initially went in and said, I'm going to belong to every single group. I'm going to go to every meeting. I'm going to meet everybody I possibly can. But over the course of the years, I realized that it's much more important to go deeper rather than wider. So I have narrowed my networking groups down. I'm really involved in probably only 3 networking groups right
Hmm.
now.
Hmm.
Yours being the lead group, and I tell people all the time, again using my one thing philosophy,
Hmm.
if you could only belong to one group, MBG is the group you need to belong to.
Woohoo! Yeah, pay him to say that.
Yeah, no, I expect payment tomorrow, please. But I truly mean that. Going for me, going deeper, and I look at, well, should I belong to more groups? But I said, well, I haven't really gone deep enough in the groups I'm in now. I haven't earned the right to
Mm,
advance into other groups. So I'm
that's an
much more
interesting
focused than
way.
I used to be. Yeah,
Yeah, that's an interesting way to think about it. Like, I haven't done my due diligence in this group, so what makes
yeah,
me think it's going to be any better in another one?
yeah. It's kind of like lead
Yeah.
generation. Everybody talks about got to get leads, got to get leads, got to get leads. But if you don't nurture the leads you have, it's
Hmm.
pointless to go get more leads. So if you don't build a relationship with the groups you're in, you shouldn't be advancing to yet another group.
Right, because it's just going to provide more fluff.
Yeah, it's more
Yeah,
noise.
it's more noise. Yeah,
Activity
it
and
is.
activity is noise.
Yeah, it is. It's definitely more noise. So, okay, so you meet some people, you're kind of getting to know people because you go to the kind of the same groups and you
Mhm.
see some of the same faces. What do you do outside of the actual event that kind of continues those deepening of the relationships?
Well, everybody goes into my CRM.
Mhm.
I think everybody should have some kind of CRM system to help them along the way.
Mhm.
So everybody goes into the system, and then I try to have some kind of touch point within 24 hours. I'm not always great at that, but
Mhm.
24 to 48 hours is kind of my rule of thumb.
Mhm.
And it doesn't have to be a perfect outreach. It needs to be something
Yeah.
because the more space you have between meeting them and you know leaving that handshake in a few days, you both kind of
Yeah.
forgotten who each other are. So I think that's very
Mhm.
important. I do have a touch system that I actually look to see. It's kind of reminding me again. AI is logistics behind me. I'm not taking the chance that my mere memory is going to remind me to reach out to these people. So AI in the background is being my logistics, and it reminds me you need to say hey to Melissa, or you need to somehow reach out to Melissa, and it reminds me of when to do that.
Mhm. No, that's great. So, okay, here's an AI question for you, something I've actually been contemplating. When I put someone into my CRM and I use Active Campaign, so when I put them into my CRM for the first time, is there a way to train an AI agent to then go out to LinkedIn and connect with them and provide me details back into my CRM based off their LinkedIn profile?
There is. I am working now. I have progressed, and I'm, you mentioned that been an early adopter of
Mm-hmm.
AI, and I
Mm-hmm.
have been. But if you divide the world between maybe 15% of us are early adopters and 85% of the rest, I'm part of the 15%, but I'm at the lower end of that 15%, to be quite
Mm-hmm.
honest. And I
Yeah.
go at a very slow pace. So I am just now working on building out agents. I've been working as a mock agents for a while
Mm-hmm.
now, and having conversations with my agent. But now I'm at the point that I'm building out agents, and building out agents mean that you're essentially building out an org chart. So I'm working on building out my own org chart, of which one of those org pieces may be somebody that's responsible for follow up within LinkedIn. So yes, it is highly. Think about for me, Pam. So Pam is my agent. So she's the first agent I'm going to bid out. She's going to be my chief of staff.
Uh-huh.
I'm going to work with her. She's going to help me build the rest of my org chart.
Mm-hmm.
And so she's my chief of staff. She supervises the other agents. Each one
Mm-hmm.
of those agents have a very specific duty that they carry out, just like an org chart would.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm in charge. I'm the final mile on that piece. I'm the human in the loop. Then I'm supervising Pam. She's supervising the agents. Agents do the work. Flows at the Pam. Flows to me. I do the final checkoff. So yes, it is very. I haven't built it yet, but yes, it is definitely possible to do that.
That's great. Well, when you figure all that out, let me know, because I want to build that particular
I'm
agent.
on the cusp, and actually, I'm working with some agent builders that until I get up to speed to be able to do my own fulfillment in that
Mm-hmm.
area, I'm working with some others to be my
That's great.
agent builders. Yeah.
Well, we'll definitely have to talk about that offline then as
Yeah.
well. So let's get back to a little bit of networking. What is just some kind of rapid fire questions? First thing that comes to mind. What is the number one thing that you think when people first start to network? You've already mentioned that you went everywhere when you first started,
Mhm.
but what's maybe another thing that kind of beginner networkers just kind of miss the ball on a little bit?
Um, Treating networking as a transaction,
Mm-hmm.
looking at it as I got to grab as many business cards as possible. I
Mm-hmm.
got to share as many of my business cards as possible. It's all more transactional based rather than relationship based. I think
Mm-hmm.
that's the main thing, and understanding that your job's not over. Your job's just begun as far as building a relationship.
Yeah. Okay. Next question. When you have two people in your circle of influence, and
Yes.
you've known somebody like me or somebody for a long time, and then you go meet somebody and you're like, oh, these two people need to know each other. How do you connect them?
Well, first I look at the common bond, and I basically identify and talk to each people about, this is a person I think you should know,
Mm-hmm.
and I explain my reason to why. But then I get their permission to actually connect in with the other person. And I do the same in the other way, which and because it saves embarrassment sometimes. Because I've gone through situations where I thought somebody would definitely appreciate the connection,
Mm-hmm.
but it's not a connection that they really wanted. So
Okay.
that's why now I ask permission. Would you like this connection?
That's a great thing to do, is ask permission. I can't tell you how many people I've been connected to where I'm like, I don't understand why we're connected. Great person. Glad you're in my circle now. Happy
Yeah,
to chat with you. But it just wasn't there was no synergy. There was no
yeah,
reason for overlap. Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Yeah, so the permission thing is great. All right, another question for you. What is your favorite way to stay top of mind? You said your system actually reminds you to reach out to people, but what's a way that you like to stay top of mind in your circle?
Uh, I do it mostly through LinkedIn.
Mm-hmm.
That's my primary focus. I I have a system there that's helping me but every connection, every conversation that I have or attempt to have is never ever a pitch opportunity for me. I'm not
Mm-hmm.
trying to sell anything. I
Mm-hmm.
just want to know how they're doing. You don't really have to say that this is what I do. It if you're getting their attention, in a lot of cases, you'll see in the background, they may not remember who I am. So you can see, well, they just looked up my profile. So that's touch enough, just
Mhm.
to be in their presence, I think is touch enough as a great starting point.
Yeah. Do you use Sales Navigator or do you just use the normal version of LinkedIn?
I go in whatever I can afford, if it makes sense for me to, I mean, I don't continue to try to use things that I'm not, or pay for things that I'm not actually using, but Sales Navigator
Right.
is one that I use daily. So
Daily.
yes, Sales
Mhm.
Navigator is a must for me personally.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's a wonderful thing. Okay, cool. All right, one more question, and this is on the dark side.
The
All right,
dark
so
side.
you're
Okay.
ask a few people this, and everybody's like, "Oh, I don't know." But when you are at an event
Uh-huh.
and you're talking to somebody, good conversation, horrible conversation, doesn't matter. I don't care. But it's just gone on for a long time, and you just need to like wrap it up, and so that you can meet other people, they can meet other people. What do you do?
Uh, Excuse me, I need to take this call.
My phone's ringing.
uh, I thought, I'm kind of clumsy at that. I sometimes I'm hoping that maybe somebody else will join the conversation and
Uh-huh.
help me out. Uh, uh, Funny, we have our favorite, my wife and I favorite Mexican restaurant that we go to. We have a bartender there that is, we become a family there.
Mhm.
But we have a secret code there that when we're sitting at the bar, whoever's ever at the bar and somebody comes up and sits beside you and the conversation is not what you want, all you got to do is just casually say unicorn, and then everybody knows to come to your attention to help you out.
That's hysterical. Okay, you and I are gonna start using that at networking events. Unicorn.
Unicorn.
Oh my gosh, that's hysterical.
Um,
Now, I actually learned something really interesting about you a few years ago.
yeah.
You had a social media campaign, I guess, I don't know what you would call it, where you showed all these crazy t-shirts. Like you're a
Oh,
t-shirt
yeah. Yeah.
collection guy. Tell me about
Yeah.
that. And
Yeah.
how has that helped you? Like with maybe conversation starter or anything?
People have gotten to know me through the fact that I do. They either, if you see me in public, unless it's some kind of unusual formal event, you'll either see me in my Aloha shirt or you'll
Mhm.
see me in a T-shirt. And I have probably collected easily over 300 T-shirts.
Mhm.
Um, and I do a social post on Facebook. I call it T-shirt Chronicles. And basically, what I do is, again, it's me. I'm very systematic. And so whatever's in rotation T-shirt wise is what I'm wearing that day. And then I just post it, and basically I'm reliving my life by the T-shirts that I have collected
Yeah.
in my journey, wherever I may have been. So I tell people that if somebody needs to give a eulogy of me and they don't really know me very well, all they got to do is look at my T-shirt collection, because they'll know the fact that I like to travel, the places I've been, the fact
Mhm.
that I love Dachshunds as a dog, the kind of music I like.
Mhm.
They'll know a great deal about me just by paying attention to the T-shirts I've collected over the years.
I think that is fabulous, by the way. I just think that is one of the coolest things, and that you integrate it into your relationship building because it can definitely spark conversations and
Uh-huh.
connections and, synergy, likeness,
Yeah, there's a
you
lot
know.
of people. That's my first conversation with them
Yeah.
is your T-shirt guy. Yeah, I am.
Yeah,
I'm a
yeah,
T-shirt
I'm
guy.
the t-shirt guy. I'm the t-shirt guy. Well, this has been really great, and I can't thank you enough for being with me today, but also thank you for all the support that you give Network Build Grow. For those of you that don't know, we have an AI-powered book club that Stephen runs with Julie, and it is fabulous. They take the book, and then we actually get to ask the author questions through the system that Stephen has
Mhm.
created. So if you've got some favorite books, connect with him, and he'll kind of even show you how to do those kinds of things. Definitely somebody that you need in your circle is Stephen Edwards.
Well, thank you. Thank you, Melissa. I appreciate that.
Yeah, and we'll talk to you soon.
All right. Thanks. Bye, everyone.
Thanks for tuning into this episode of the Network Build Grow podcast. If you enjoyed today's conversation, be sure to subscribe, leave a review, and share it with a fellow entrepreneur or professional. And of course, if you're not yet part of our community, visit networkbuildgrow.com to connect with us. Until next time, keep building and keep growing.